Steve Jones with the Hardscape channel here with Mike Lamonica from Syrstone.
How do you do?
Mike, it's been a while.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, well, it was great to see you down here. Grabbed you in the hallway, and here we are in this studio.
Right.
So, Mike, you've been in the hardscape, the segmental paving industry for an awfully long time now.
Yes, sir.
We're all getting old and gray.
Yeah. Getting seasoned.
Seasoned. That's a better way to put it. What's been your biggest challenges in what you do for Syrstone over the last couple of years?
The past couple of years, we've all had our ups and downs. The most recent downturn has been work we've lost to actually the general contractors. Syrstone, 98% of our work is commercial. So in this downturn, we've lost our pavement market to the general contractors that are trying to keep their own people busy.
So the generals are actually, it's like the old flat work days. They, when they got squeezed, their own people would do the flat work.
That's right.
And now they're doing segmental paving.
Yes. And that makes, you can appreciate the work ethic because they want to keep their own people busy. Can't fault them for that.
No.
The downturn is that the quality is not there. I would say it's even worse than when the downturn we had 10 years ago when the residential installers would come into the commercial realm. And that doesn't take any, because they had the skill to do the work, they just didn't have the knowledge of doing the commercial,
the scale
that they're dealing with, of dealing with finances and contracts and whatnot like that. So this time around is even worse.
Painful. That's
it is
really
very
painful. And all those relationships built over the years with the general contractors pretty much out the window.
Right.
Damn. Well, that's a tough thing. So what have you done to combat that? I mean, obviously, Syrstone is still around. You're still in the business. What has been your strategy to stay alive?
Well, over the years, Syrstone's been in business for over 40. I've been with the company for a little over 20. So we've always diversified, because of our involvement with ICPI and getting involved with all the meetings, board meetings and subcommittee meetings. They seem to drag out to some degree, but they've always kept us ahead of the curve on what's going on. We're one of the first companies involved with permeable. We helped out with the design, as you did too, when it was during the design phases. That's always helped keep us abreast, ahead of things. The mechanical installations, the roof deck installations, and then beyond ICPI, we get into natural stone, granite curb, bridge deck grooving, and all sorts. So the diversification is one thing that we've done, and two, we travel all over the country. So we're not pigeonholed in one market.
So your crew seem to be doing more traveling than before, or pretty much the same?
We're doing less travel. We're sticking more to the East Coast right now and more into the northern states because that's still a union area. We are a union company, which is a whole nother 5-minute segment or more.
We'll do that.
But we still follow the basic rules that we've always learned. You just can't sit on your hands and wait for the call to happen. You have to get involved with the industry. You have to get out there and do the actual, you have to mate up with, a contractor has to mate up with the manufacturer and do joint sales calls and just keep on hammering him, because even in this age of technology, with what we're doing right now, face-to-face contact is still the best, in our opinion.
For sure. But it's an expense. It's an expense.
It is an expense.
Some people don't appreciate or understand the investment cost of doing that kind of selling.
Mm-hmm.
So you're more than just a bidding company.
Right.
Well, that's good to know. What do you see as an issue, when you partner with some companies? Obviously, you have to be fairly selective with your manufacturers, otherwise they're terrified to lose a big job. So they really want to find a low bid contractor to take the work so they can make sure that they make their material sales. So tell me what your thoughts are on that.
Well, our policy has always been, whoever gave us the lead is who we would ride in with. Now, sometimes you lose the battle, but you win the war on that. If ABC manufacturer gave me a lead and another manufacturer came in a day or so later, I'd say, I'm sorry, I can't take your number. I won't even take a number from that second bidder out of fairness to him, and then he has an opportunity to go somewhere else.
It's hard to find that sort of loyalty these days, so you should be applauded for that.
No, thank you. And it was easier 20 years ago because there were only a few manufacturers to deal with. Now they all cross-pollinate into each other's territory.
Right, and things get a little dicey out there when there's a real competitive project out there.
Yes.
I mean, it gets downright dirty.
Right, and some manufacturers have dealership networks and others don't.
One of the sad things that I hear a lot about, even more so recently, is of course that, you know, you get a not a very stable contractor lay in a very low bid. They either drop out before or during the first part of the project, and then the GCs come back out and say, well, you can have the job now, but do it at his price. You go, I couldn't do it at that price then. I certainly can't do it now.
Right.
So it's a problem we struggle with, you know, and I know we've had me and some of the other contractors involved in ICPI had these discussions about understanding that the engineering process, the planning process, the architectural process of a project, is all low bid.
Right.
It starts from the top down, and so when we get to the point where we worry about specifications, and we worry about quality specifications, we worry about detail work, we worry about all these sorts of things. Starting at the top, it's low bid all the way down to the bottom. And unfortunately, when it comes to the paver contractor, by then they're really into the value engineering, and they're down to their last dollars, and that's when they're really looking to save money.
Right.
And that's pretty bad. That's pretty sad.
Yeah, I can't really speak for the residential market. I'm sure it's the same way, but the commercial, it's definitely, you know, the low bid. Or, you know, at best we'll get we'll get a second look. But you're right. They'll say, we really want you to be here, but you have to match this number. And sometimes you just have to say, well, then you really don't want me to be here.
Yeah, and that's a tough thing because every company I know, all the players in our market that I know, I mean, they all have that same issue, and you have to be able to be financially strong enough to say no. So it takes years to build a company to be able to do that, and you have to have the right attitude and mentality, but it's a long-term mentality. Too many guys are, I think, trying to take the shortcut. You know, stories here at our meetings this time, it's been pretty astounding that some really well-established good contractors took some pretty big hits this year and almost went under because there was a few companies that thought they could buy a market and they could drive everybody out of business and still be there at the end of the year. Like always, it didn't work. But in the meantime, it's taken the expectations of the local industry, wherever they were at, whether it be Texas or East Coast somewhere, it ends up setting a new expectation for pricing, and then it gets us all in trouble.
You're absolutely right. There's been companies around us where we're into our fourth stinker year, as I would say. And so we're not the size. We don't do the volume that we do. We don't have the same number of employees. We don't do the same gross dollar volume, but we're leaner. We're much more efficient. We are, we have the same profit margin and debt free. That's what you want to try to establish. I've seen very good companies run by very good men and women that are a shell of what they used to be.
Yep, we are all less than what we were, at least in size and volume. So I don't think anybody's been affected. Has not been affected by that.
No, but it's made us better.
True, but it's painful. It's painful when you get forced to do things you maybe should have done but didn't do.
Right.
You think of the money that you maybe spent that you didn't need to spend, and you could have done something better. So, I mean, there are some, at least on my point, there's a few regrets. I mean, I'm not going to lose sleep over because it's past, and as we move forward now, and hopefully hopefully, seeing it change. And it's nice. It would be nice to just see the turn back up. Doesn't have to be huge. Not looking for a screaming ramp up on sales and stuff, but it would be nice to be on the upswing for a change.
Well, I think we're survived. I mean, you and I have been through this how many times?
I forget.
We forget. Why count? Why count? So, Lord willing, we'll survive this, and it has made us a better company. It made all of our companies better companies because we've realized who our friends are, who we can trust,
Yes.
and any relationship, whether it's with your bride or your business, trust is everything. And if you don't have the trust,
You're not going
to survive.
Exactly.
So,
Well, Mike,
Thank you
thank
for
you
your
so
input.
much. It's always been great to be associated with you, and especially involvement in the industry association at ICPI. You guys have always been a great participant, and I want to thank you.
thanks for having me.
This is Steve Jones, Mike Lamonica, Hardscape Channel, signing off.